Hey guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we've got an early impression video on a Prin Lomros fragrance from the House of Prin called Haxan. So before I say anything about this fragrance, we actually have a couple housekeeping notes to get out of the way. Number one, Nissan, thank you very much for sending this to me, mate. Also, I have to give a special shout out to Lee from Fragnanimous, who also sent me a sample of Haxan, and you can see the Fragnanimous website right there. I would urge you to check him out if you're interested in these kind of scents like Prin, Arise Ladore, Bortnikov, Meleg, that kind of stuff. He carries a lot of those brands, a lot of those indie brands, if you will. Lee's a great guy, especially if you're in the U.S. He ships only, I think, within the continental U.S., but fragnanimous.com. Check his website out. Okay, so before I talk about Haxan, I am going to do a quick vintage unboxing. And this quick vintage unboxing is going to be this little bad boy. Look at this. What is it? What's in here? I know what's in here. At least I think I know. I have an idea, let's say. This came all the way from Malta. And I'm just going to cut right into this box. I guess I should have done this before, eh? Alright, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Come to Papa. There is some good stuff in here. I promise you. Alright, let's see. The first thing... My God, Keith. He packed these pretty well. And there's a ton of little fuzzies around, so apologies. It's going to get everywhere. There's nothing I can do about it. Let me show you the first thing. And so, if you guys don't know Keith, he basically goes by the username Manly Sense on YouTube. And this is one that actually I've been following. And this is a recommendation from Jonathan. Jonathan 1970. So thank you very much. This is Pomellato Uomo. Pomellato Uomo. This is the 100 ml. And there is the short ingredient list on the back. What all vintage lovers love to see. And let's open this up. Let me show you the bottle. Look at before I show you the bottle though, look at the condition that Keith keeps his boxes in. I mean, for me, I like move it to one place, then I move it to another, then I try to show you, and then the box gets dinged, and that happens within the span of a week. He's had these for years, and look at this. It looks like it's been in a storeroom somewhere. Look at the crisp lines. Unbelievable. Okay. So this Pomellato Uomo, here she comes. All right, she is born. Pomellato Uomo. Oh, it's a splash. I forgot it was a splash. Oh, that smells good. All right, I gotta dig into this. I gotta decant this. I have to buy some decanters. I owe some decants to some friends that I promised them, and I don't have any decants left. I think I'm all out, so I gotta buy some on Amazon here in a minute. But yes, I will decant this. I will tell you about it real quick, just because I'm also interested. Pomellato, P-O-M, Alato, Pomellato, Uomo, Pomellato Uomo. 1993 this came out. It was last marketed by Cerruti, we'll say, which, yes, it was. There's Cerruti right there. Artemisia, fruity notes, green notes, rosemary, bergamot, fern. Fern doesn't have a smell, but fern, fir, tarragon, geranium, jasmine, cedar, moss, amber, leather, musk, and patchouli. So I'm guessing that this is kind of one of these leathery takes on like a fougere, but with some leather. Good stuff. Interesting. I like that the cap clicks into place. All right, awesome. I'll have to get some decants so I can decant this. Glad to have this, though, I'll tell you that. Very glad to have this. All right, so that's one down. And if you actually go look up Pomellato Uomo, you'll see that Keith's Manly Scents review is the top review. And the reason it's the top review is it's the only review. The search for diamonds in the rough compels me, considering how unknown Pomellato Uomo is. My expectations were low. I was pleasantly surprised. It opens up green and slightly fruity before flowers, woods, and leather take over. Read that. Go check that out. I will have to wear that very soon. Okay, next on the list. Oh my god. The little fluffies he puts in here are everywhere. I mean, they are literally everywhere. All right, let's see what he sent me. I'm gonna have to vacuum this once I'm done. Oh my. There are some decants. All right, decants. Let's see what he sent me. I think he told me and I already forgot. I'm a terrible friend. Montana Camore EDT. Are you guys familiar with this? Montana Camore. I don't even know why I'm bothering trying to scoop this stuff up. It is everywhere. I'm going to have to vacuum it. I'm going to have to vacuum myself. And let's see. What is this Camore? Montana Camore. 2004. And if you look up Camore, Keith's review is first because it's the only review. There is a statement on there, but that's not a review. Coriander, lemon, hazelnut, lavender, rosemary, and cypress. Interesting. All right, you'll go up here with your friends. Whoa. Don't get too excited there, Camore. Don't get too excited there, buddy. All right, let's see what else we got. We have... I actually did some reviews on some of the samples that Keith sent me previously, too, so these are cool. Let's see. We've got Fabergé Cellini. Someone was just asking me about Cellini, and I think someone sent me a sample recently. Look at this. Fabergé Cellini. Fabergé Cellini. I think this is a Keith sample. Look at this. Jonathan sent me the leftovers of a Keith sample, and now I have another Keith sample. It was meant to be. I was meant to review Fabergé Cellini. Obviously, Keith is a fan. I feel like I cracked a little bit of a mystery there. Okay, let's see. Let's open this up, shall we? Which one are you? You're the big hitter that I wanted. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay, yeah, this is a hard one to find, I'll tell you that. This one took some searching. You vintage collectors are going to have to do some looking to find this one. You're going to have to make some friends to find this one. This is Nino Cerruti's Fair Play. So, Nino Cerruti's Fair Play. This is a tough one. This is a mid-80s release. And Nino Cerruti's Fair Play, I've heard compared to a couple different things. I've heard, and this is actually in the exact same bottle as Cerruti Pour Homme from 1978, I believe, or 79. Excuse me. Where are you, Cerruti Pour Homme? There you are. Mine doesn't have a cap because it's a tester from Amouage, but Cerruti Pour Homme. Let's see how much I have left. I did not use all this, though. I bought a partial from Amouage. But I did get a full bottle of Fair Play. Exact same bottle. They just literally changed the name. And, yep, the bottle is identical. Cool bottle. Let's see, Fair Play. Let me pull this up here. Fair Play. 1984. Citrusy, spicy, bergamot, lime, lavender, lemon, mandarin orange, basil, carnation, geranium, and pine with amber, cedarwood, leather, moss, tonka bean, and vanilla. Good stuff. And Keith's review is one of two. He's the very top review. The origin of the YSL Jazz DNA. That's what actually made me buy this, because I love YSL Jazz, one of my favorite. YSL Jazz is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So if Nino Cerruti's Fair Play is the origin of YSL Jazz, I have to have this. So I'm very glad to have it in the collection. Very glad to have it in the collection. Okay, you go back into your home, and we will pull out the final bottle. And then we will talk a little bit about Prin Lomros's release, Haxan, which I have to tell you right now, I'm actually not a fan of. I don't like Prin Lomros's work, to be honest with you. I'm sorry if that offends some people, but it is... I don't think he's a very good perfumer, to be honest with you. So, the final one is this. And this is a collection piece. I really want the earlier versions of Jil Sander Man. This is Jil Sander Man 3. This is Jil Sander Man 3. And Jil Sander Man 3 is a 1987 release. Pierre Bourdon is the perfumer. Green, spicy, fresh. It has that dihydromercenol DNA, you know, that 80s, Dracar Noir. You know, if you've smelled Caesar's Man, I think there's a little bit of that here. Lavender, coriander, mugwort, rosemary, and bergamot with thyme, fruits, juniper, rose, and carnation, with moss, cedarwood, sandalwood, frankincense, musk, and patchouli. And discontinued, of course, but for the collection, not too bad. Glad to have it. I don't think it'll be my favorite Jil Sanders, but any Jil Sander pre-1993 I found that I like. So, I think I just inhaled some of that stuff. Oh, Keith, you're going to kill me with these, oh, excuse me. I definitely inhaled. Whenever I tried to sniff this atomizer, one of these tiny little pieces of fuzz that Keith put in this packaging just ran up my nose. Oh, that is brutal, Keith. Okay. I'm gonna have to vacuum this room out. It looks like I killed a stuffed animal in here or something, which I may have. Okay, so the unboxing complete. 3 gems as far as I'm concerned. 3 vintages that I've been hunting. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for finding these for me. Whenever you're a vintage collector and you kind of have the collection that I have, and you need to find, you know, it's almost like doing a surgical strike. You need to find the exact ones that you're looking for. You have to make friends. You have to know people. Otherwise, if you just go to eBay and you try to buy Fair Play on eBay in this condition, you're going to get taken to the cleaners. I mean, they're going to ask double or triple what Keith sold this to me for. So, yes, I mean, that's part of being in the community. You have to make friends and learn to know people, and that's how you can kind of come across. Some people ask me, how do you come across these rare bottles? That's exactly how. making friends, making connections. There are vintage fragrances out there. You just have to kind of know where to look. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk a little bit about Haxan. So the good part of the video is out of the way. Now let's do the bad part of the video. So Haxan is a 2018 release, and it was released by Prin from Parfum Prissana, basically. He sells his fragrances in 30 ml little... I have a Stranger's Perfumery version. Actually, I should have brought it with me. But, yeah, I have a Stranger's perfume called Cigar Rum. It's the only Prin fragrance I own. And even that one I'm not that keen on. Maybe I'll wear it soon and talk about it or something. But when you look at his fragrances, he doesn't really give you note listings. What he gives you is just kind of a... He gives you notes. He doesn't give you a note triangle. He just gives you all of the notes thrown at once. So when you go to Parfumo and you look, it's just everything just in a line. So chamomile, cypress. This Haxan is chamomile, cypress, absolute, fir balsam, mushrooms, cashmeran, costus, frankincense, galbanum, marjoram, muscone, nagamatha, oregano, sage, vermouth, vetiver, basil, beeswax absolute, caraway, castoreum, cedarwood, clary sage, gaiac wood, jasmine absolute, labdanum, lavender, apopanax, patchouli, rosemary, spruce, styrax, thyme, tobacco absolute, Australian sandalwood, black pepper, clove, elemi resin, goat hairs, nutmeg, and saffron. And so just a high-level talk before we really talk about the smell of the fragrance. A high-level talk. Honestly, there is something about Prin's work I've just decided I don't like, is what it is. There's just no other way for me to say it. Go watch my review of Anthamara that I have. I have a Prin, Stranger's Perfumery / Prin, playlist. And I reviewed a fragrance called Anthamara. I hated it. I am now reviewing Haxan. I hate it. I hate to say I hate it, but I do. I hate it. And many people keep telling me, oh, you have to smell this one. This is the one you have to smell. And every time I smell one of those, I end up hating him. I just don't like his work. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Many people put Prin in kind of the pantheon of, indie perfumers. So for me, it's Aramis Devin, Russian Atom. It's Dmitry Bortnikov, and it's Ensar Oud, right? But I just I can't put Prin up there with them. Does he try to do things like them? Yes. I would rather put that Rising Phoenix guy in there. I've been wearing this little to bed. I've worn this to bed like 3 days in a row. I never wear the same thing 3 days in a row to bed. And this is a little 0.3 gram sample of a 2017 Rising Phoenix sample that someone sent me. Rising Phoenix. And it's called Mitkina King from Rising Phoenix, 0.3 grams. Oh my God. I'm in love with the oud he used here. It's dirty, it's animalic. And, I love dirty and animalic smells is the thing. And I think that's why people assume I love Prin's work so much. Because look at the note listing. Goat hair, tincture, castoreum, mushrooms, costus. I really don't like costus, to be honest. Well, not necessarily I don't like it, but there's a lot of... It can be very challenging. It can have this wet animal-like feel. And that's kind of part of what you get here. Along with this very earthiness. So... many people point to his use of real oud, real castoreum, real, musk and all this stuff as why he's good, why he deserves to be up there with Aramis Devin and Bortnikov and Ensar. And I just don't rate his stuff. I don't think he can blend very well. And, whenever I smell his stuff, I have almost this visceral reaction to it. Like you ever consume something and then later on you throw up, and whenever you think back to the food that was bad, you want to kind of throw up again. That's the thing that made you sick, and it makes you sick thinking of it, right? That's kind of how I feel about his fragrances. I just don't like them. I have this visceral... I've been wearing this on my skin all day, and I've been spraying and reapplying like I usually do. I've been forcing myself to, because I want to get to know it more and do it for the video, and, but I just... I just really do not like. Here, let's do a fresh spray. Let me just, might as well. Hell, let's use this shit up. Oh, so here's the thing. The opening, God, the opening is very challenging. It's almost so because everything just kind of hits you at once. I really don't think he knows how to blend, honestly, is what it is. But everything hits you at once is what and maybe it's meant to. As it So the fragrance really doesn't feel like it has a top and a middle and a base. Everything just kind of hits you, and you get this almost like this earthy, damp, wet animal, but something like you ever, like, I don't know, been in a forest and you're like playing in the dirt or something, and you come across this area of the forest that just smells like death, like maybe a rat died and it like died inside of some hollow log or something, and it just, no other animals that usually would scavenge it ate it, it just kind of stayed there. But you can kind of smell it in other parts of the forest. So you're getting the green leaves from the forest. You're getting the earthiness from like this mushroom. This is one of the biggest mushroom fragrances I've ever smelled. I don't like it at all. This mushroom earthiness, chamomile, which is supposed to be very soothing and calming, just blends with the mushroom in this weird, disgusting way. Almost like you're in the forest. You can smell the minty greenery of the trees because there's basil and thyme and oregano and marjoram, and there's all these green notes, rosemary and spruce. Spruce, I think, is a big green note that I usually love, and I hate it here. It smells like you're in a forest. You can smell the spruce greenery, the basil, a little bit of mintiness, even though there's no minty note listed. And you also smell, outside of all those fresh notes and green notes, you smell the decaying death of an animal close by, and you smell the earthiness of the forest, of the soil, like this mushroomy earthiness, right? It's this almost intolerable, challenging. The first 30 minutes are extremely challenging. Now, what I will say is this, to his credit, every time I've sprayed this is the third or fourth time today. Every time I've sprayed this, I can bear it a little bit more. I don't think I'll ever like it, but I think I can take it a little bit more. At first, I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to wear this all day. Nightmare, right? As it dries down, the patchouli and the tobacco and the styrax and those base notes, the sandalwood maybe, but I think it's mostly the patchouli and maybe a little bit of the beeswax absolute kind of take over. And they're what remains. All of the weirdness of up top, the vermouth, the costus. Well, costus maybe is a base note too, but the mushroom and all this other stuff tends to kind of just fade away. Like it just washes away, and you're left with the apopanax and the tobacco and the styrax, and it's extremely spicy too. So outside of the weird animalic facet of it, there's this strange spiciness as well. It's green, it's spicy, and somewhat smoky, almost like you're smelling a puff of smoke. Not necessarily like an out-and-out smoke bomb, but imagine someone takes like a puff of a pipe, right? And you kind of get the smoke while it's being lit. Litten's not even a word. I'm just making up words now. While the pipe is lit, say someone strikes a match, puts it on the pipe, smokes it real quick. Don't think about the smell of the pipe tobacco, but think about the puff of smoke that the pipe gives off. That's what the smokiness in this fragrance reminds me of. Like it's a puff of smoke and then it's gone. And then it's a puff of smoke and then it's gone. I just don't like it. I do not like his work at all. I'm sorry. There's something very dry, green, earthy, herbal, earthy, earthy. Like, you know what it's like? I'll tell you what it's like. So imagine you took a fragrance that I love. Imagine, if I want, actually, before I say it's like this, here's what I will say. If I was going to wear a fragrance that had this green, earthy, resinous, smoky thing going on, slightly animalic, I'd just wear this. I just wear Des Cendres by Les Abstraits. This is one of my favorite fragrances of the year. I think this is going to be the fragrance of the year for 2023. I don't think anything will top this, personally. I'm not holding my breath. In the retail space, I'm not putting this out there. I'm not going to compare this to, let's say, Bortnikov puts out a new perfume with oud in it or something. It's not fair to compare this to that. But for the Chanel's and Dior's and Frederic Maull's, and I don't think anything will be able to top Des Cendres. 2022 and 2023 for me is the year of Les Abstraits. I mean, it just is. 2022 was La Douleur Exquise. 2023 is Des Cendres. So, I mean, I would wear this a million times over before I ever reached for something like Haxan. It just doesn't do what it's trying to do very well. So, but imagine you took kind of some of the stranger aspects of this, the pine tar, that tarry kind of green galbanum with that animalic base thing, like that chypre, old school masculine chypre like accord, right? And imagine you mixed it with something like this. Figment Man, like this earthy, but even Figment Man I love. I mean, I've come to love Figment Man, and this has this earthiness to it. So it's not necessarily the earthiness that I don't like. It's the way he blends everything together. It's very strange and off-putting, to be quite honest. I don't see the... I'm reading the comments. Some people are saying it's a masterpiece. It's, it evokes the haunted woods. I could see Enchanted Forest, haunted woods, mysterious thing. Poisoned by mushrooms. Yes, poisoned by mushrooms. There is a nice woody accord in here, someone points out. I'll agree with that. There is this... So once that weird thing kind of goes away, I won't even say dries down, because the fragrance doesn't really feel like there's... It's a weird... His fragrances are just weird. But it feels like there is, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours in, once what is left is that patchouli and woods, it becomes much more tolerable, okay? Much more tolerable. I still don't necessarily like it, but I can kind of see what's left over. I think he would benefit from maybe working with a professional perfumer and maybe learning how to blend, is my 2 cents. That's just my opinion. Okay, I'm a nobody. I don't know how to perfume. I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy that loves fragrances. My biggest probably advantage over many people is I've smelled so many vintage things. And I go everywhere. Some people focus on niche. Some people focus on designers. Some people focus on oud. I go everywhere. So I have a very broad spectrum. And I've smelled a lot of things, and I just do not like Prin's work. There is nothing... I don't think I'll ever buy another Prin. And people keep saying, oh, you have to try this one. And damn it, I do keep giving it a try, I'm not closed-minded. I'm an open-minded person. I like to give things a try, a chance. But for me, this is a no-go. It's way too... I would get no enjoyment out of this. If I owned a bottle, zero enjoyment would I get out of this. So, I mean, sometimes it's going to work that way. And honestly, I mean, if I wanted to wear something like this, I would reach for Des Cendres, or even what I think is Des Cendres... Here, I got boxes recently, so there's going to be some opening and closing of the doors now that you guys aren't used to seeing in the past. Because I went up in the attic and I got boxes, and in those boxes is the bottle. So, this is the grandfather of Des Cendres, Aramis Devin. And you can see this is one of the older bottle presentations, but not so old that it's a super short ingredient list. So probably in the last 20 years, I would say this came out, this version. And this is fantastic. I mean, if I wanted to wear something that was green, galbanum, chypre, animalic, I would reach for these two. These two have Haxan beat all day, every day in my book. And so that's the problem with it, is I guess if you don't have this frame of reference, I mean, this is a brand new fragrance, and I'm sure some people are still trying to save up to smell it and sniff it. God, so good. And this is a vintage fragrance that if you're not a vintage connoisseur, you may not really come across, or you may have written this off. This is unbelievable. Many people bought this at my request because I said, this is like the grandfather of Des Cendres, and they went and bought this and they were like, wow, this is unbelievable stuff. And it is. This is one of the greatest green masculine fragrances in my collection. So I just think I would wear this. I don't think Prin has anything for me, honestly. And to those who love them, you know, don't listen to me. If you love something, wear what you love. You know, you always have to trust your own nose. But for me, Prin Lumros is a no. I don't think he'll... I might even sell my bottle of cigar rum. I might review it and then sell it. So, anyways, I guess, you know, one person says, I'm a gardener, I love this fragrance. It, you know, it smells like the earth and mushrooms and green, and, you know, if that's you and you love it, wear it, but it's not for me. So, anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you think. If you have experience with Haxan, do let me know. If you have experience with my 3 new fragrances to the collection, Jil Sander Man III from '87, Cerruti's Fair Play, or Pomellato Uomo, do respond back and let me know what you think of these. You'll be seeing more of them on the channel, obviously. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Cheers, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.